Rice, the choice over many choices. Promoting equity, equality. Rice, standard. So make we rise with the morning sun. We keep rising till the break of dawn. So make me rise, 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 sweet rise with you. Make me rise, 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 sweet rise with you. So make me rise with the morning sun. We keep rising till the break of dawn. So make me rise, 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 sweet rise with you. And make me rise, 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 sweet rise with you. Rise with you. 96.3 FM. Amplifying the voices of women, gods, and young people in our society. Relevant and vibrant programs. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Rise Radio. www.riseradio.s.
Good evening, welcome to this midweek edition of your number one magazine news and current affairs program, Wi Yone Salone, where they come to you live from Riseradiosl 96.3 FM. Today now Wednesday, June 12 this year, and where they bring the program come to you this evening time. My name is Samuel Alie Kamara.
And my name is Davida, Spaine-Solomon, member of the program Wi Yone Salone. They meet you every Monday to Friday from 6 to 7:30, even time from the studios in Brookfields. And member so you can join the conversation live on our Facebook page on Radiosl 96.3 FM. And same way so on www.riseradiosl with support from AfriCell.
Inside the program today, we will talk about the day against child labor. The Forum for Africa Women Educationalists does launch their strategic plan for 2024 to 2028 as well for push picking them education go before. And same way so, the chairman for the Public Account Committee in Parliament don't ask the Ministry of Finance for cut 5 million loans and the Assistant Director for Fiscal Risk Management na the Ministry of Finance in salary. Then story and more plus sport all line up for you inside the program today.
So there with we for the next 1 hour 30 minutes as we go bring you news about them with happening all about the country, and you self can join the conversation by sending your text message to the AfriCell number 077-963-963. The AfriCell number again at 077-963-963. But first, make we take the Rise News summary.
Rise Radio 96.3 FM. This na the use with me, Bintu Sudan. Sise. President Julius Maada Bio say, no election no done successful all over the world without question them. As in say, for democratic nation them like Salone, for survive among global financial crisis, making government been decide for finance the country in elections for the first time, even when the COVID-19 crisis been just done. When they received the 2023 Combined Annual and Elections Report from the Electoral Commission for Salone, ECSL, President Bio commend the Chief Electoral Commissioner and all the commissioner them for their good work na the conduct of the 2023 multi-tier elections. And self say, voters them appreciate them well for conduct wetin call safely elections. The president say, democracy dey, but trust na the rule of law. Respect for national institution and the one them where they serve na the institution them dey. And call on citizens them for obey the law, as in confirm say, no more presidential elections no go happen na Salone sorted 2028. So in call on politicians and all citizens them for tap for mislead other people them and focus for they together now. As Salone people and focus on feed Salone. The Minister of Communication, Technology and Innovation, Salim Abbas, say every government for prepare for meet the growing demands and opportunity them for the new digital age. As he say, the objective of the Innovation Summit where they carry on for create platform beside the brightest and most creative mind them na Salone go come together and share idea them. The Communications Minister say Salone for add by in digital inclusion through infrastructure development, digital literacy with education, and empower the youth for creative access to global employment opportunity them. Minister Ba explains say the ministry don't achieve some big progress within the country in technological space.
We have continuously achieved some major progress within the technology landscape in the country. These successes are very important to us and our people, and for a country with a burgeoning young population of over 40% under the age of 15, with more that are half under 20. Technology will persistently play a role in meeting its demographic dividend potential.
The Minister of Communication, Technology and Innovation, Salima say President Bio envision for position Salone among global leader them pan technology don't make them don't unveil waiting in describe as the Tech City Project initiative. You dey listen to Rise News on Rise Radio 96.3 FM. The Minister of Health too, Dr. Jalikatu Mustafa say the ministry don't determine for make the health system na the country go green by way how them go make sure say all health facility them be climate smart and resilient. Mustafa say the ministry dey same way so now develop strategy or policy them for address climate change and health through the Directorate of Environmental Health. In explain the aim for get this kind policy yaso na the health system of the country.
This policy is not aimed at developing a parallel program, no. The aim is to see how we integrate climate solutions into every single health program, into existing health programs, from primary health level all the way to tertiary level. For example, if we say primary health level, all the PHUs would have solar systems, sustainable water supply. They have health staff who are trained to recognize and identify climate health risk. We have mechanisms to refer.
The Minister of Health too, Dr. Jalikatu Mustafa say the policy go talk about how for work with other ministry them for implement the policy. Fine one. Now na use but other country them. According to BBC, the president na Senegal, Bassirou Diomaye Faye don say them go manage the profits where them go get from the oil and gas where the country don't begin produce for the first time. Well one. The Australian energy giant Woodside described the extraction as historic day and important milestone for the company and the nation. The Sangomar deep water project where Semuso gets gas aim for produce 100,000 barrels of oil for the day. The United States envoy to Sudan don't want say El Fisher sitting at the Western Darfur they about for fall na rebel force them on. El Fisher na the only city still under army control na the Western Darfur region. The armed forces then don't defeat the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces RSF na one civil war we don't last for 14 months. That's na use we come to you from Rise Radio 96.3 FM. My name na Bintu Sudan Sise.
Plenty thank you to Bintu Sudan Sise for we bring the rising sun we come to we. The terminal from studio clock, now 9 minutes past the hour 6. And the program now Wi Yone Salone, where they come to you live from Rise Radio 96.3 FM. Now, so we'll take you first inside the program today. As the 2024 Innovate Tech Summit they continue, one part the panel discussion been focused on access to finance and tech startup revenue raising. As they say, funding na part the key challenge them where startup can face, where can limit them for do boku thing. The discussion be outlined in them, where them for do and not for do. We reporter Davida Spaine-Solomon get more and gonna report.
Access to finance na a crucial factor for the success and growth of tech startups. This means the ability of them business and yaso for obtain necessary funds for develop them products, scale operations, and achieve them business goal. Where even they talk on their approach for finance tech startups, the digital development specialist for World Bank, Dr. Ransford Mensah, say the bank analytical about the investment. So he say then they use the AAA approach when at the authority side, ability side and the acceptance side.
So at the bank, we are quite analytical in how we approach our investments, and we use an approach called the AAA. So for those of us who have notebooks, you can try it. You can draw 3 Venn diagrams, so 3 circles, and you realize that there's always a point of impact. So for the first A, we are really looking at the authority side, so meaning that really considering the policy and regulatory frameworks. And then we also have the ability side, which is looking at capacity building, skills. And then we also have the acceptance side, looking at the ecosystem, what is happening in terms of incubators and others. So we bring all these 3 together, and that gives us an entry point for investment. So for example, when we put these circles together, we realize that one needs to be worked on, and then that is where they will start with our interventions. So sequencing is also very, very important for us, and based on that, then we're able to provide financing.
Dr. Mensah go before for say, for link all this to the Sierra Leone Digital Transformation Project, they realize say, when you go through this project pack, we get the outline of the project activities then they start with the policy and regulatory side.
So linking this to the Sierra Leone Digital Transformation Project, you realize that when you go through the project, what we call the project act, which is more of an outline of the project activities, we are starting more with the policy and the regulatory side and making sure that we get that right. And then that triggers to areas such as venture capital funds, and then also providing credit guarantee for young startups and others. So basically these are the areas that we work in, but everything starts with our AAA approach, and then based on that we build on the interventions and activities. Thank you.
The founder of Ponderage Nigeria, Joel Ogushola, where he be dey talk about the type of tech ventures we get high potential of growth for startups. He say across West Africa, we get Anglophone and Francophone, differences than they.
Across West Africa, I think also because you have, Anglophone and Francophone as well. West Africa, I think there might be some difference. I'm not very familiar with Francophone West Africa. But on the Anglophone side of things, using Nigeria, as some form of example as to, some of the things that we've seen work. I think in Nigeria there's been an explosion of fintech. So you typically would see a lot of fintech type organizations within the ecosystem, and that's understandably because of the size of the population of the market. There's a very young growing population, and there's a lot of transactions, multiple use cases. The informal sector also accounts for about 40-50%, depending on the statistics you're looking at, of the market. And also that's why you would also see a lot of e-commerce or do I say, commerce type ventures. So typically we saw the likes of Kunga, Jumia, leads that initial sector, and then now you have a lot of smaller players. Also post-COVID, we've seen a lot of logistic tech startups also kick up and grow, and that's simply because during COVID, everything has to be delivered to people.
David Otunwu, now the managing partner na Nubai Capital Nigeria, and then they invest in startups and self-invest in African entrepreneurs them. Talk about some of the challenges them where it on they see for tech startups them we can look for funding.
So most times when you're looking at early stage founders, the challenges that they experience are unique in themselves, right? And in Africa, each country throws up its own sort of really different types of challenges. Whether you're looking at West Africa, and even in West Africa itself, we still have those little pockets of challenges. I think the very first thing that we find is the talent shortage sometimes. So you may have a really great founder who knows what he's doing, but being able to get the right types of co-founders to work with him can be challenging. Now, that co-founder may actually start out for the founder, but after 6 months, we're having a conversation and they say, well, the co-founder has traveled to maybe the US or Canada, basically relocated, leaving that team battling once again to find fresh talent. The engineers have to leave, which is challenging in itself because you then need to start finding new set of engineers to start training and paying again. That's really very challenging. And I think it's because in Africa, there is still a lot to be done in terms of talent development. I'm looking at a situation where a lot of African governments will take the initiative, working with the private sector, to deliberately train talent that are not just for exporting now, but can actually build that country.
The managing director for EcoBank Salone, Sebastian Ashon Katai, been talk on how the bank microfinance approach DELEC for support tech starters and the country, and the steps them were required for access them finance theirs too. As EcoBank get successful microfinance experts to in business, and that service don't they support the need of tech starters them in the country.
Yes, indeed. EcoBank has been carrying out microfinance activities in Sierra Leone for over a decade. We currently put out about 100 million leones on our balance sheets in financing to micro entities. But what we've actually found is that the budding tech sector in terms of tech startups is not limited to microfinance. And so our offering to this sector is not limited to our microfinance activities. The actual EcoBank regular banking also provides for SMEs because many of these firms actually fall within that category. We're one of the banks that actually has a dedicated approach towards the budding tech sector in Africa. And that applies also in Sierra Leone because we realize that there's such a young population in Africa, and by addressing that space, we're going to be addressing the needs of the youth as well. And so, as a bank, we do focus a lot more on the financial tech firms than perhaps agtech or health tech, but that will come as well. We actually see fintechs as partners, not as competition or as a threat.
This panel discussion may end up with advice to young startups in the country on how they for tapping on trends them within the technological world and make use of all available opportunities them we meet them. For Rise Radio, Mina Davida Spaine-Solomon, we report.
16 minutes past the hour 6 and the time on our studio clock, and the program is still listening to on Wi Yone Salone, where they come to you from Rise Radio 96.3 FM. You get to live from the studios and Brookfields and stuff on the internet on www.riseradio.sl with support from AfriCell. You can always join the conversation by sending in a text message to the number 077-963-963 or drop a comment on our Facebook page on Riseradiosl 96.3 FM, and we go read them. Inside the program today, we talk about today against child labor, where the world can observe June 12 every year. And the theme for this year, now let's act on our commitment and child labor. And for sake of that, we get to it inside the studio, Idrissa Dumbuya, we're now the acting deputy director of labor and employment, now the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Welcome to the studio, Mr. Idrissa.
Thank you very much.
So for make we go start for lady emphasis, Awale we talk about, Awale will start for talk about waiting now your understanding on the day against child labor and why it's so important, Stoner.
Thank you very much. The day against child labor, of course, as a ministry, we get one of we strong international partner where we always work with. We're in the International Labour Organization, you can call her ILO. Now, almost all over the world, member states, we get labor department or ministry, as the case may be, basically yourself, not to an exclusion. The development of laws, policies, and regulations around labor administration can always take in roots from ILO conventions or recommendation with the General Assembly of ILO, the annual conference can go ratify, then can pass that convention or recommendation. Now can set the foundation for that. Now, we find out, say, in 2002, inside the general, assembly session, now the ILO be force pronounce June 12 for be World Day against child labor as a recognition. And the initial objects for that now for ensure see then create awareness reason, especially member states for create awareness reason so that people are able to know about the ills of child labor and for make states and take actions for eliminate child labor.
So what are the main forms of child labor them around the world?
Well, child labor actually can take different forms. Firstly, we need for put them into context of perception. Now, the perspectives where are the try for talk about gets for do basically with the fact that we say child labor. Of course, child labor means say now we picking the work. We picking the work. Now in a child labor. But we get what to call hazardous work. We picking off for do. So if hazardous work they we picking off for do, it means to say picking can work, but they get the kind thing they we if for do. So basically, the word child labor it kind of now transform itself by almost meaning now something negative. We picking up for do at all, but in context really, you get what to call light work. We picking can do, right?
That's not then domestic chores.
It can be domestic chores. It can be, for example, if the family get business, we after school the picking will go for a assist by the business, but that assistance we they render first of all, enough for interfere by a normal time for go study, enough for interfere by physical well-being, enough for interfere by emotional state. So that one then a light work. And if you go into ILO Convention 138, after we don't pronounce in 2002 for say June 12 will be World Day Against Child Labor, Convention 138 then being kind of ratify later with that convention day, now we call the minimum age convention, which sets the foundation for waiting for be the minimum age for let people enter upon that light work day. Right? So if you go into that convention day, Article 3 they tell you say the minimum age for be 13 years.
Okay.
When we self get in the Employment Act. So I mean just want to answer the question we my brother been asked just now. You go pardon me for just 2 minutes, make I just enter into It's therefore ask about the different forms of child labor. Now, as I was making reference to the ILO Convention, following Convention 138 and Convention 182, when at the elimination of the worst forms of child labor, Article 3 of that convention day, it states within the different forms of child labor. 1, we procure picking for prostitution. That is the KD picking for enter into prostitution. This is child labor, and it is worst form of child labor. You procure picking for make it participate actively by armed conflict. That also is child labor. You traffic picking for go abroad in the name of, for example, for go better in life. It can be your family member, but now that you go put ampa, now child labor. Then also we picking the work. Underground. We get certain mining industries where they work underground. That underground work day itself, now child labor, or hazardous work. And also begin the work over time. That also is hazardous work. We begin the work na net. Like I've been talk just not say picking for work, but picking no work na net because I make it clear say the work not for interfere with studies.
Okay, now let me ask the question about now as this particular day also the theme now let's act on our commitment and child labor. And this year World Day they actually focus on for celebrate the 25th anniversary of the adoption of the worst forms of child labor convention since 1999, and also serve the represent an opportunity for remind all stakeholders them for improve the implementation of the 2 fundamental convention them on child labor, as we don't talk about the convention number 182 and as well as 138. So one go on for ask really how self una don how self salon self don't recognize them particular convention there as well, and how una don they try for CCS they implement them and people them adhere to the rules them.
Okay, well I will put or separate your questions into 2. 1, if I get you right, how as a country we don't make sure see we don't take steps, with respect to the 2 convention and how we also make sure see people and comply. for end child labor. Well, as a nation, before this term, we don't get provisions we get to do with child labor, but now be minimal, superficial provisions. For example, in the Employers and Employed Act, Cap 212, it is repealed and replaced now by one of the laws. Then we repeal and replace now by the Employment Act. It been just get minimum age for enter into light work, but nothing more. We go deep into them. So, but at least even at that level, it shows that we are thinking. Now, with respect to the two conventions, then. When you look at the recent law, where we just review and we don't come into force now, the Employment Act, Act number 29 of 2023, Section 95 and 96, then speak directly to the two conventions they are. 95, subsection 4, the in talk about waiting, the thing they are the worst forms. That is, waiting really constitute hazardous work or worst forms of waiting, child labor. And subsection 9 inside it now don't give consequences in case somebody do them. Or you allow picking for do them and say guilty of an offense under that act today. Okay. You see, then section 96 now inside it, they talk about waiting the age limit. Okay. In terms of that act today. Well, now, before we come to that review day, we don't develop before this term a national action plan for tackle child labor. Because one thing we clear now that child labor na saloon, now more of the informal sector na they prevalent. You go agree with me, say, even as a journalist, if you want to go do undercover, inspection or investigation somewhere, for as long as na formal, employment, premises, it go difficult for you to find picking where they work there. Because the formal employers are always aware of the consequences, so they know they are for, employee picking with or possibly below 18 years of age. Okay. A much more prevalent than the informal sector. And yanda na the challenge actually there. So with National Action Plan, what we don't get before this term, we've been focused more on the informal sector areas, them who know informal economic boom, especially for sand mining, quarrying, and mining itself, for make sure say we get that people them and back on awareness reason. Okay. Because we all know some of the reasons some of them people are the key for making people enter into child labor, winner poverty. All
right. So Idrissa, let we go furthermore on current situation in the country. Go and make you provide family to listen to it with a little bit of overview of the current state of child labor in Salone and waiting are the most relevant forms of child labor in the country.
Well, the current state of child labor, if we look at from the rural-urban divide, for Western area, waiting more prevalent if a person try for take a keen look for observe them, na more of street trading for the urban center. Okay. For example, on Monday, myself I intercept one picking, na New England around the office area. I think around 1:30 in the afternoon. It is sell. I could not really remember again the things then. So like they try for persuade me for buy. So I ask him, Picky, for dinner school by the entire. But it was 1:30. So he said he don't come out school. So I was concerned. So that one day you go see, around even after school area, and that's really not supposed to happen that way. If you look at most of them things in the way they happen, now people they put, market or business, now they picking they aid them for pass around for sale, and for happen that way. Okay. Whereas for the rural setting more, now more of family farming, but more of how you call this artisanal mining, quarrying and sand mining.
All right. So for that, you raise up a point, say you meet one picking at school. Now, what's in the ministry they do for see that they then, raise more awareness, because right now government say they pay nothing for make you picking go school. So nobody gets any rights for picking for go school, for give excuses like the school fee this, the school fee that, but they prefer for sending picking go to school. So I don't get any initiative or any strategy when I don't put in place for see that say give more awareness to Kamara and say for send picking go to school right now, not free.
Well, I've been in a particular forum this morning where they interview me. This is something I also make very strong. I don't believe say, now my honest opinion on this, I don't believe say we for trade off the picking them because of whatever hardship we did. Talk of, because trading off the picking education in the name of buying and selling, that picking day in action or in effort not get for reverse the trend of whatever hardship the family did suffer. Rather, me always believe, say, let them look at the other part of the lens where the family is deprived. But because of the education of one person, that one person the way succeeds on say go university or he learns some technical vocational skill, and that in success day, it reflect to everybody na immediate household. Now that kind theory, now that perception, now that kind way they me want the family they look at the picking them future rather than for come mortgage them in the name of hardship. Me not believe in that one day. Now, Davida been they ask about what you don't do. Before this time, as I say, now that's more we be engage on, but we be engage more people where they na the rural area usai sand mining, because the idea is that it is much more prevalent in those areas. But we next drive we they embark on now for ensure say we embark on robust advocacy. We need to target anything, we target the entirety, because we don't get a law, we get consequence. If we find somebody wanting of child labor, we no go wale person kai na me one game picking this and I they help me na this. So we can revamp the advocacy to ensure say that no they continue for happen.
Okay, so before we take another insert here, same now the story where you just make mention about where you say you see one picking and then he ask him if he go school or so. But you say you not ever be convinced with the picking story. You been try for like go further, let you do some proper investigation for let you know if actually it be they go school, because we don't see so many situations of where some of them picking it, them parents then they of them picking a day, then can forcefully give responsibility to them picking and they say well when I go out and go sell. Despite the government we don't say free education are free, still them go tell you say now then they take care of free because of one way or the other physicality challenge and all.
Well, I'm not being go deep into investigating so that I will confirm me doubt what I've been get and the answer will give me. Because I've been really urgent, I've been caught up with time, but because nothing where I they do, I still able for spare that 1 or 2 minutes for question the picking. It tells you how almost also a concern. But wait I see. If I been really get time that day, and the picking by the way I answer me, it's like the picking say me concern they come up from another level.
Okay.
So going forward, nothing this way I feel say not to we no more, for example, as authorities for even do. The general public also for help we in this, because the elimination or the fight against child labor, you agree with me saying no to the Ministry of Labor and Fights no more. Okay. There are other MDs that are concerned, and equally so the general public for concerned, because the picking and future now we all future.
Okay. So the issue of negligence and ignorance, that's don't be one key problem in a salon, especially like way they call on the general public. Person go tell you say not to me picking and then another for can get problem with people picking when I go tell them the right thing. So again, I they try for call on the general public for make it be an utmost cry or concern to them.
Well, like I don't see me work incident in a situation in the I can always remember say if na me picking I mean go so. The pass and sale. First of all, like I ask myself, what I see something in the velo, then I begin, how much this could make out of this?
Okay.
So I put myself in that kind of position for saying, I'm a beginner, so I want to let other people and say, put themselves, and then we help ourselves for tackle this.
All right, continue for still to inside the program. The Forum of African Women Educationalists, FAWE, now one non-governmental organization where they promote gender equality and equity per education business na the country and self-ensure say all picking them, especially girl picking, for get access to education. As we for celebrate the Day of the African Child, they launch they don't launch their strategic plan for 2024 to 2028 for push picking them education go before. All this be happening at the Vanilla Complex now, but inside Freetown. Reporter Patricia Kabia been the part and gonna report.
June 16 every year, na day wey some parts of the world can celebrate and honor the one dem wey be take part by the Soweto uprising inside South Africa inside 1976. And from 1991, they don dey celebrate this day to acknowledge the strength and courage for faith for better education for all pikin dem na Africa. The theme for this year na education for all children in Africa. The time is now. For sake of this, the Forum for Africa Women Educationist Salone, FAWE, launched a strategic plan for 2024 to 2028. This na for address and overcome the challenges wey pikin dem dey face na the education sector na the country. This plan same also aim for push and make equal education, especially for the girl pikin dem and marginalized communities. The head of program na FAWE Salone, Joseph Alpha Kamara, be talk this.
Education for all children in Africa, the time is now. This theme is in line with the theme of the African Union for this year, which is Educate an African Kid for the 21st century, building a resilient education system for increased access to inclusive, lifelong, quality, and relevant learning in Africa. The concept of education for all is not the reality for some Sierra Leonean children, according to the Education Sector Analysis Report published by the Ministry of Education in 2022. If you take a look at that report, we still have a lot of children, particularly girls, that are not accessing education.
As in say, the strategic plan they set the stage for improvement in the same way so say this.
Most Sierra Leonean children experience physical, sexual, emotional violence at home, in school, and on the way to school. This situation was exacerbated by COVID-19 pandemic. Violence jeopardizes girls and boys' health, development, and capacity to learn and thrive. Violence in schools is multifaceted and happens everywhere. It is a phenomenon with consequences that can last for a lifetime. Violence against children in school is any form of violent activity and behavior inside the school premise. Education for all children, the time is now. It's inappropriate to bring to the fourth discussion on safety and learning. Following this exercise, the consultant proceeded to draft a comprehensive strategic plan covering 2024 to 2028. This plan includes milestones that will guide the organization's future endeavors.
This na for assure and make sure say all pikin in the country gets the opportunity for get quality education. Frances, when I be the representative from the Ministry of Education, be say this.
Education for all, including girls. What have we done as a ministry? The boys will say, anything I get beginning now that I don't compensate, who says, well, they can't go back. That is not the case. Everything that is provided for a school is for the benefit of the boy and the girl, as far as we are concerned. The teachers who provide for the schools, they teach all sexes. The materials we send as a ministry, the safety, you spoke about safety, the safety guards we give, the protection, the catchment areas, making sure that the school is not located in a place that is dangerous for everybody, including the teachers, the school leaders.
The Minister of Gender and Children Affairs, Isata Mahoy, self-be talk this.
We have seen that the pre-quality education has brought forward the enrollment of girls in school, which is becoming very much interesting nowadays, that you see many girls, every part of the country being enrolled in school, and also the retention rate is also high. This is because as a government we prioritize the need for education, and the educational sector is one of those that is receiving the highest in the budget of the country. Poor parenting is one of those categories. And as children seated here, I want you, when you go back home to your parents today, tell them that the Minister of Gender said, because there is lack of good parenting in this country, we are seeing children go to school, they leave house in the morning, they go to school, and then become started fighting with teachers in the classroom, having boyfriends in the school, being sexually harassed. Too many problems associated when it comes to children attending schools. And these are the challenges we are facing as a country and as a government.
With this backdrop, we make the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary School Education, Dr. Conrad Saki, be addressed and launch his strategic plan.
To formally launch the strategic plan of the Forum for African Women Educationists for 2024 to 2028 to achieve that vision of equitable and inclusive society where all Sierra Leonean girls and women are thriving. Today, as we also celebrate the Day of the African Child, a day of great significance for our continent, our country, and also for the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. Education is at the front and center of a child's development, experience, and access to opportunities. More broadly, education holds a pivotal role in a country's journey towards sustainable development, towards accessing quality education. Special attention needs to be paid to marginalized communities such as the girl child.
They end up for encourage all parents them for put attention to them girl pikin them and save the government for joining together so that pikin them will get quality education na the country. Reporting for Rise Radio, Mina Patricia Kabia.
6:40 at the time right now, studio clock, and the program is still listening to now. Wi Yone Salone, where they come to you from Rise Radio 96.3 FM. You get you live from with studios in Brookfield and self on the internet on www.riseradio.sl with support from AfriCell. Continue for sending text message to the number 077 963 963 077 963 963. Now the number we go send a text message or drop your comments on our Facebook page and we go read them.
Inside the program today, we will talk about the Day Against Child Labor Day, where the world can observe June 12 every year, and now that make we get inside the studio. Idrissa Dumbuya, we are the acting deputy director of Labor and Employment at the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. So I'll come back again to you, Idrissa, as we don't talk plenty thing about awareness raising and with the story around that one day. So with the adoption of the Sustainable Development Goal Target 8.7, where the international community be don't make one commitment for make them drop or eliminate child labor by the end of 2025. Let's look at from the Salone point first. How far we don't go? You really think say we dey very close for make we forget about child labor business na Salone? Talk less of the world generally.
Well, na Salone for the fact that child labor business, we get na two sector. We get the formal and informal sector. For the fact that the formal sector, we big, even though the informal say big, but the formal sector, for the kind where we also large, we know we go boast for say there is hardly a case of child labor, in prevalence in that particular sector. I believe say we know now say now one fight now get we not the informal sector. So yes, I believe say as a country, not just commitment. Sierra Leoneans once who committed for do anything we can for do them. So fight is just with the informal sector, and I believe say if we will not get on the formal sector, awareness we will must count that same kind of awareness in the informal sector, especially within the folds of the families. We inside the informal sector, they also allow them.
Yeah, then you say free tour not to just Salone. Where you go to the provinces, you see a whole lot of different kind activities where can happen. Like as you don't make mention of upline where you can get some, more farming business and all. And try to believe in be done they go on for say like where you go crack joke with person go tell you say if not be upline like if this 15-year-old picking or this 16-year-old bubble like it don't born up to 10 picking them if not be upline. So the perception kind of still they even doing up plenty again. So how una don't they look at the provincial areas for making us say yes, that one day it really be something where people need for get the awareness about and people need for take action against that one day, because when you check upline, you still get picking away not to go school. You parent then they way forcefully they come and tell you say them picking another source of income for making them take care of their family.
Well, we believe, say, first of all, with the introduction of free quality education, now the biggest opportunity where every Kamara for take advantage of, regardless of who you dey. whether na return on an upline. Because with this now, nobody no go excuse for say, I no been get school fee for pay. Now that me cannot able for send me picking at school. So this now the biggest opportunity and one of the surest way in this for combat and eliminate child labor. Now, you try to talk about the issue of people saying Freetown is not Sierra Leone. Of course, Freetown not to Sierra Leone. Even in the provinces, you also get formal business the way they operate there. You get formal mining companies in the provinces. You get also other formal institutions we know to mining companies in the provinces, this same province.
Sure.
But in those companies, you know they are for CP you know the CP even though now uplining they operate. Mm-hmm. So, as I tell you, we be done CMC now this side, this thing day. So we don't take measures before this time. For example, if I could remember, there was a time I think in 2020 or 2021, in commemoration of this day, we go as far as Pujon, and now one sand mining area close to the border, between Liberia and Sierra Leone. Now they will go engage people them. And we engage all the stakeholders them, from paramount chiefs, parents them, other stakeholders that were involved for telling about the ills of child labor. So now that approach will be done. They take. We will try for body now, in collaboration also with Children's Commission. Okay. But again, whilst we do that, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Now we don't get a sanction because if we try collaboration at some point, we see people and they still insist where you get an opportunity. Open one for take advantage of winner the free quality education, they will not get forget choice. Now for begin cite or show example and people learn because one picking in future it depends on we all. Okay. For all let's say now we picking because if we see them they picking in future they mortgage them in the name of so-called hardship or what have you. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day. Then picking and they go be with problem back in society. So
the outcome of child labor, it get any serious effects per individual and the nation at large?
Well, as I almost they say, because I believe say any nation for make it progress, it depend in people them they make it progress. I don't believe say any nation they where they go before as a result of other people them, except for one kind of different arrangement so it depend on experts, so you don't see even if you depend on the input of experts for drive you development agenda. You see, now serious people, experts, now people will be the learn book today, then get something at the aid. So similarly, young people, if you depend on them for make you succeed, now people will themselves for don't see at some point, then sacrifice, then in the midst of all the hardship where people can compete and make sure say. Then put them picking in our school. Okay. Once you get that awareness, the first of all as a parent, you know now say the picking in future not only MS secure, but you safe as a parent. Because if you God give you long life from everybody, that picking will you take care of today. You sacrifice and ensure say that picking they go study, get education. In the long run, will you self old, that picking they don't succeed. So same in your old age now, conditions say where you no be ever get in a life. That picking will make you get them, and you will live better life before you even go take your life.
Okay. So now let me look at enforcement mechanisms them of some part of the law them way the ministry get. Now how the ministry they enforce child labor laws and what are the challenges them way on the face for ensure compliance by the laws and
Well, as I say in we recent review, now we put the issue of compliance enforcement. Enforcement in the sense sanction. Because when you enforce something, you get for make somebody feel the consequence of an action. We now the fact see if you are caught or you are found in child labor, you'll be liable of an offense, under that act. And that was just 2023 April last year. So we are working on mechanisms for make sure say we'll continue for roll out, them provisions then they and ensure say we self begin for site example now to people. Make them know say yes, the issue of child labor, it's a serious issue. And obviously nothing we people for give excuse for, especially so we don't get sanctioned. We not so we as individual go kind of administer that sanction. Not the law. Now go administer the sanction. You see? So as Davida been saying, one of the things that we do for make sure say we tap or for affect child labor, even in the formal sector, who they conduct inspections. Who no say no did they say if we F sharp, you for sharp and more. Even though we no say no did What would they put a questionnaire together for do inspections? Would they put aspect of child labor that tells you how we serious about them? So, two things. One of the things, or three. One, now this advocacy what we don't do, we'll continue for revamp them. Secondly, now for embark on robust inspections, on the spot inspections and checks. Now, especially places where we refer to as informal institution. And then third, now we also get the sanction as I say. We no go. It ain't at the law books, so we just get for allow the sanction for be. Operationalized where necessary.
Okay, so the issue again of child labor, person go, surround them to, drug abuse and drug trafficking, like especially if you get some picking away them born na some places where na a drug prone area outside drug business a plenty, where to some extent they can even use them for become drug traffickers. They sell drugs them. Where at times some of them picking and they can find them very much uncomfortable, can try for left them people also and try for like go make a life on their own. So to that point that then SSF, can even want for like be responsible for their own needs them, we can involve into child labor, go work for people for make them get in daily lives. How now don't they, put on more emphasis on the enforcement side for making as you say on a punish or get all of them comrade and them parents then they waking they give cause for making them picking and reaching at that point today.
Well, that's not a whole process.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, if you get all of a picking and you begin realize see where you begin go deep into the questioning, it come out say, for example, now the parents now be negligent by responsibility till the picking go into that. If the picking don't begin the mature small, that is don't the 14, 15, 16 year, at some point you go begin be in word against the parenting word. So it's a whole, but at the end of the day, whatever na the situation, I go still absolve you as a parent from your responsibility for take care of the pikin. Because if you try, you see say the pikin, they still try for baby, but I believe say wait and they will use for report to authorities, so that they no say evidence don't they for sure say you been try your best for ensure say this pikin not involve, or come on at it, with that will eventually lead them. Because if you pikin come on at us, a commander and parents away get means and get economic means for even take care of himself. As speaking, for example, do side the pool means for take care of himself. If a commander and people are going at it, the next day get for do one way or the other, now hazardous job.
Okay, so
for let's survive.
According to reports, Africa gets the largest in terms of statistics, but child labor with over 70 million picking them. When you talk about Africa, you get for look at the traditional setting, the cultures and the norms. Some parts, some home, then the way they go tell you, say, you the small one, you the last one, now you get for a big one. To some extent that then can become, the big one and can become negligent for, say, this picking self getting your own personal needs or responsibility where they need for look at, then the self can prevent picking from making not successful. So, ourselves, owner don't they look into them, think then for making them say yes, like what we talk about awareness raising. How now don't they, raise the awareness to them people and they for making them, try to forget a particular knowledge about, being traditional and of course looking at the beginning future.
Well, as you yourself don't put them right, of course, if that kind of statistics they come up, you for of course no now see one way or the other something in the try for ascribe maybe the preponderance of that based on maybe culture, certain culture. But again, in as much as we get culture and tradition, we something like that make we they get some kind figures and they on we side we not too fine. As a people, as parents them, we for begin again you think now, you want for born picking we you expose them for expose them at early age, where at the end of the day, where you own like that same picking that you want for make it take care of you, or you don't born this picking already in a deprived economic state. Once let that cycle of poverty or what have you, una no want for breaker at all. Because the only way una to break that cycle, now way, if you the parents or one of the parents or both of una not been get formal education or technical education, for begin to get it, you think now say, I feel say this me picking themselves no go can born the young picking them in this condition. So therefore, you for depart. from that way, even if it gets for do with una culture and tradition. But if that culture they could deprive the picking them, as you don't say, of certain things that we do them, when are the right, including education, the time for make themselves benefit from education, then I feel say it is but proper that we depart from the culture then we go make the class we as people that we involve more pan child labor. I too sure say that so if it be, because if not be that way, it is always a problem. I don't say before this term now that make most of, if not almost all the awareness raising now in the provinces who don't do it. It's for a reason.
Okay.
Why we do the but as I say now, we begin make them all over rather than we target a specific way. We do them all over now. Then where we go now a specific area, maybe because of certain thing we prevalent or in custom, tradition or belief system, then we now we model them to how they do and within them believe in. Because the example of only beaucoup of picking the way them born na mud house in villages, before this time. Okay. Today, then life na testament.
Okay, continue for still inside the program.
As today, June 12th, Salone don't join the world for celebrates the World Day Against Child Labor. But how important this day is so now? But how important is there so be and what it means to Salone people? Let me make Massa Nyanga been talked to the Director of Advocacy, Communication and Outreach, not the National Commission for Children, Adival Castle, inside this interview.
Well, Fambul them, June 12 every year, countries them all over the world, they celebrate World Day Against Child Labor. When a day set aside by ILO for ensure say people them bring up the plight of child laborers them all over the world, and let we try for see how we can bring up ways for ensure say we address their issues there so and try for ensure the safety and well-being of picking them. So now that basically bring about the celebration of the World Day Against Child Labor, where Sierra Leone, they join other countries all over the world for observe this day and ensure say we always bring picking them issues to the forefront, especially those we get for do with child labors.
Okay, so you can look at child labor and waiting than they mean.
Okay, child labor, now where person not reach 18 years yet, where from 0 to 17 are they consider as picking. So person when not reach 18 years yet, where they do work where they deprive them of in childhood. That's the work they prevent them for be picking, like in comping picking them. And work again where they deprive them of in potential, that's opportunities them where they get for let them grow and develop and become somebody tomorrow na society, and then dignity as well. And then work that they all were harmful to them physical and mental well-being. Now we consider as child labor.
So now any kind of work we picking they do, or all kind of work we picking they do na child labor?
No, well, picking can do light work. Then work the way they give picking a house for sweep, for get water. Even the get water safe, we can frown at and small, especially for the girls. If na night, we can see say not safe. But for get water nearby and the kind key tool or the rubber way they get and come measure it to the picking in age. Sometimes they go see 5 years, 7-year-old picking will tote 5 gallon. So you go they strain under this so then they will not think say advisable. But then small work for help for cook, for help for clean the hose, we really encourage them. And one of the responsibilities of the picking them for let themselves know say they're responsible towards their parents and the home, and that's what they learn small. We know they say picking up for work. Even the Child Rights Act make provision for picking we don't all 13 for be engaged in light work. We not like for help na the home for do small work them and all, but again for the under supervision and the work again they get again for be commensurate to in age. But that work where then they do for money, where they expose them to a lot of danger, and most importantly when they allow them for go school. Because sometimes some picking and then at school you go see them and they sit down and acquire the book stone, or then they fishing with them people, or then a farm, or then at streets they sell. Na child labor.
So now can look at the theme.
Okay, well the theme for this year say let's act on our commitment and child labor. As we all know, child labor not a thing will just happen now, not it only happen over the years. And interestingly, this year self make the ILO Convention 182 25 year. We been done say all countries for try for eliminate child labor. So we tell you say now long term this thing don't begin. And that time then now we don't pass, governments now, NGOs them, the parents them, communities based on engagement and activities where all other people don't they get. People are not they make commitment. Oda go say well we go try for enforce the laws. Some man go say well we not go send who picking them again, we go make them go school. All man be don't make commitment. 25 years is a long time from when they signed that convention day. So then think say now na the time for let all man act on in commitment for ensure say child labor end. You know, all man know they doing small thing them, some man know they even see progress because the thing not the end is still they carry on. But we ensure say we talk to people like let them remember the commitment so they don't make and ensure say them fulfill them.
Salone said they part of this particular convention for like end child labor 25 years. Let me look at Salone as a commission. What you will say?
I go honestly tell you say child labor day, it dey happen. We all dey see am, it visible. We all dey see am in our communities, we dey see am in the street. You go dey pass, you see pikin and they sell in the street. We know say it dey, and not just the city, they all over the country. Anytime you go, you dey see child labor dey happen. But what we don dey fight for now, for ensure say we reduce am, and with time we try for eradicate am. Over the years, with advocacy and community engagement and talking to people, at some point we been see say it reduce small, especially where the government of President Bio been come in 2018, where they start the free quality education and where they try for enforce them. We notice that the pikin reduce na streets for sale, but unfortunately they don't come back. And interestingly now they don't get a new strategy. First time you talk to them or you talk to the parents and guardians and go tell you say, oh, I got for fend school fee for me pikin. I make it you got for go fend in school fee. Now because free education, they then go tell you say, no, you got for go fend money for lunch. So for us it's a matter of mindset, a matter of behavior where they just think say, some man thinks say na so life day. In granny or in papa been the broke stone, na so you take men then na so then sell market, na so then pikin themselves continue, na so it for be. But we want to use this now for break that barrier there and ensure say the narrative change around child labor. Like how we don't they say and they continue for emphasize, we not say picking up for work, but let it get time for in education.
You listen to Wi Yone Salone, we're in our news and current affairs program when it comes to from Wise Radio 96.3 FM from Monday to Friday from 6 to 7:30 even time. Now time for make we take a short break and we'll come back shortly.
Now you can send mobile money with no sonko, only with AfriMoney. Ilek you want send 5, 10, 50 or 5,000 leons or even more with no sonko. Yes, anytime, any day, every day, any side you in a salon, free with AfriMoney. No go outside and the pinch pan the lily where you want send. Avoid sonko. Use AfriMoney. Dial *161 *1 # for send mobile money free. AfriMoney to AfriMoney. For no more, call 161. AfriMoney. No sonko.
Use AfriMoney for free. Make we play the Wall of Fortune.
Winning don't come. Winning don't boss. With over 5 million new leons in total cash prize, Africell will give you chance to win plenty money. Now the Wall of Fortune radio and television game show.
Join the Africell family every Tuesday and Thursday and stand a chance to win thousands of new leons. Now the Africell Wall of Fortune promotion.
For qualify, just dial *424# or you call or send empty message to 424 for just 1 new leons and get chance for win. You can also top up at least 2 new leons, 2 AfriMoney and double your chances them. The more you top up 2 AfriMoney, now the more chance you will get for win. Make we play the Wall of Fortune.
The Wall of Fortune show go dey live on AYB TV, Afri Radio, Africell Salone Facebook page, and all major radio stations them na the country live every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 o'clock na net. Make we play the Wall of Fortune.
The more you call or send empty message to 424 or top up 2 new leons with your AfriMoney, now the more chance you get for win thousands of new leons from Africell Wall of Fortune promotion.
Win big, and increase your chances to the high or low risk and watch your money multiply with AfriCell. Make we play the Wall of Fortune.
The program where they listen to now, Wi Yone Salone, where they come to you live from Rise Radio 96.3 FM. The time now from the studio clock, now 3 minutes past the hour 7.
Inside the program today, we talk about the Day Against Child Labor, and same way so, the Forum for African Women Educationalists launched their strategic plan for 2024 to 2028 as a way for push making them education go before. And same way so, the chairman for the Public Accounts Committee in the Parliament don't ask the Ministry of Finance for cut 5 million old loans by the Assistant Director for Fiscal Risk Management, now the Ministry of Finance in salary. The number for sending text message now 077-960-960. The number again is 077-960-960. And so if you go drop your comment, now Facebook page on Riseradiosl 96.3 FM.
We still get inside the studio Idrissa Dumbuya, we are the Acting Deputy Director of Labour and Employment, now the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. So we'll come back again as we don't discuss plenty in them, and we continue for the discourse about child labour. So when you talk about child labour, most of the time, the first gender we per single member na woman or girl picking them. So with this kind of situation, how girl picking them, they face in particular when what are the challenges that we girl picking them they face in particular when it comes to child labor business na salon?
Well, the issue of identifying the challenge with girl picking in the face when it comes to child labor. First of all, say, be it boy picking or girl picking, for involved in any active work aside light work. So if we identify challenges within the face, it's like we kind of, legalize or justify, people low for work. That notwithstanding, from waiting I don't see so far, you find out, if we are talking about both sexes, the one the more we prevalent in issues of child labor, now boy picking them more.
Okay.
Boy picking them more prevalent.
Na salon
of that. Yes.
Or the world at large.
Yes, a boy picking them more. Because say any kind of way, boy picking, even at 12 or 13 now, in terms of physique, because some of them child labor work in because the picking not acquire any expert knowledge aids for which you will employ them for. So most times now work in a handy job or some work can be physical, which is why we refer to them as hazardous jobs.
Okay, so what in this case person go and disagree with you, say girl picking, then they face more of the challenges, because people get some perception, say, well, girl picking ain't easy for talk to and ain't easy for, like grab fist with in terms of I go force them, say, well, do this thing, if you not do I go deal with you, I go punish you quick.
Well, as I still talk, except otherwise, because when we categorize, in fact, child labor in the strict sense of being an hazardous job, we mentioned the issue of procuring, picking them for the purpose of prostitution. So if we are talking about challenge, and one of the things I know in the face pan child labor business, the issue of prostitution, and I believe, say, if it's somebody they procure picking for prostituting, it will definitely be against the picking will.
Okay.
Or in choice. Maybe some work and day, even though not child labor, but you no go to consider as demeaning as that kind of thing.
Yeah, because what my colleague they try for say, if you walk on the streets of Freetown after maybe 12 or 1 o'clock na net, the amount of young picking them with this in a street we suppose for even dinner or stand then hour and day either for the study or for the sleep. Then can boku past maybe the baby one and say where you see in a street. And then can then appoint them, not even supposed for they disguise as maybe then they sell water, maybe then they sell soft drink then hour and day.
Well, for girl picking most times, if he just like the boy picking for example, in Freetown or Western area, I believe say I mentioned street trading, and that one they cut across both sexes. So for the girl picking more, especially for Freetown, if you they pass around, you see, like you talk now that's more. Now the same way then the face. But in actual sense, this is not supposed to happen.
Yeah, and then they're even afraid for come up for even meet una we responsible we not the lawmakers, them we responsible for them. And in their own defense, they can say una they push it talk 1, 2, 3, maybe 1, 2, 3 days, and then una forget. And the part then they to go end up through the streets, and then at the end of the day, na streets and go because una go just put first, or the lawmakers and go just put first for a couple of days, and it just die out, and then at the end of the day, they not get side for day, they not getting for it, and we just stay at the streets back, and they do what them is supposed to do. So waiting how they do for see that say una build trust between, I want to call them victims, because they know they do their stuff and they out of the will. Waiting how they do as a parties building for them young victims, and they foresee that say they able reach out to una and trust una for then trust the process of where una go able redeem them or free them from the bondage where they're in.
Well, if you don't continue to happen, we expect, and this not so for the victims no more, but for the entire public, we expect people also for give you intelligence.
Okay.
As to, because that's the best way that you can possibly address the issue without maybe the parents or the guardian knowing that the pikin, in fact, are even. You get me now the informant. Because if the guardian or parent knows that the pikin are the informant, you know exactly what will be the outcome. And we not want that kind of thing. Because if that happen, then a social problem altogether again. You know, a crisis where you go get pikin back go homeless because of waiting. Then guardian and they can say, oh, this have been bringing from upline from America, MLA can make it land, you know, in that quote unquote. Now we can go to the authorities and the rest. So addressing that kind of problem, we depend on intelligence.
So
and once we get the intelligence, no, we don't get any fund for that one. But
like strategy, they also are able to put it picking them for the meantime for security purposes.
Well, we know they envisage a situation where the picking will even come out to the parents because we address the problem.
How?
Now that's make we want to make the thing reach we in the form of intelligence. So they make sure say, for example, we go and make sure say we meet this person, they do this thing.
So
on height, so that nobody no go deny say. This thing, for example, like I can ask you, the picking of the pan I can ask you, say, then say you this picking, so you put some pan child, you go answer. So the answer definitely would be, no. So if the information they meet you by way of intelligence, even the beginning, will go protect.
So now pass the intelligence meet una self not can go out and make una do proper checking, surveillance in.
At the talk about a situation where picking they under control, as they say, and the fear of also. If the guardian knows say this pikin, now go complain me open one, you know, it go trade the pikin ado, even though they go face the consequence. Then the pikin end up for be also, you know, abandon pikin or what have you, we know they under control. Now that's how they talk for. Say for address that kind of way, the best way you go do now through intelligence. So you go there with the pikin house, you know, if you know self say na the pikin, because if the pikin they go and child labor business, not so you know more go know other people and go more know.
So how about where some situation the pikin go look at say you know will get guarantee even if you go name in person what they do and bad to the ministry.
No, now the work that's what they do. I don't believe saying that's now we don't work. We no go for undermine we don't work again. And we don't aim what we get towards and for ensure we eliminate and affect child labor business in this country.
Okay,
so we do that one day with honesty and sincerity. I don't feel say we na people away no go even do that kind of thing, and otherwise it's like would the fet we safe. And we no go fet we safe.
Okay,
rather would the fet people we involved in child labor.
Okay, all right, we'll come back to you. Let's take another insight inside the program. The chairman for the Public Accounts Committee in Parliament don't ask the Ministry of Finance for cut 5 million olions by the Assistant Director for Fiscal Risk Management Unit that the Ministry of Finance in salary for pay to the Auditor General in account. He talked this during the Public Accounts Committee then airing on the 2022 audit report. All this be happening at the new administrative building inside Parliament. For more on this, make we join with parliamentary reporter Fatmata Bangura.
The chairman for the Public Accounts Committee at the Salon Parliament, Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte, don ask the Ministry of Finance for make them pull 5 million olions from the Assistant Director, Fiscal Risk Management Unit, at the Ministry of Finance, Joseph Fatoma in salary.
I would recommend to the Ministry of Finance that 5,000 new leons, 5 million in the whole leons be deducted from your salary, paid into the Auditor General's accounts for breach of Section 36.
This come after where the Ministry of Finance, Sierra Leone Road Authority, Road Maintenance Fund, and the Gentle Group of Companies been faced the Public Accounts Committee for answer to question them we get for do with double payments for one road where the Gentle Group of Companies been make na water loan. During the meeting, the Assistant Auditor General na the Audit Service Salon, Maury Lansana, be start for talk say.
contract agreement between the Gentoo Group of Companies and the Sierra Leone Road Authority. From a review of the contract agreement and a signed memorandum of understanding valued at $42,782,727 United States dollars, we observe that an amount totaling $39,676,314 United States dollars was paid to the contractor, leaving a balance of $3,106,413 United States dollars. We, however, noted that there were certain discrepancies in the payment process.
Morilansana be carry on for talk about other things them where then find out during the audit.
Based on the letter written by the Assistant Director, Fiscal Risk Management Division, FRMD, and a letter from the Chief Executive Officer of Gentoo Group, an interim payment certificate, IPC1A, valued at $5,459,499.26 United States dollars, which is equivalent to 71,281,565 leons, was issued in 2018 due to delayed payment of IPC1 as prescribed in clause 60.10 of the contract agreement. We, however, observe that the Road Maintenance Fund Administration had already made payment for IPC1 in 2016. Furthermore, there were no certified arrears outstanding IPC regarding this contract as confirmed by the Audit Service final verification report on domestic debt in 2018.
Now for sake of them findings here make Salone people be feel say the Gentoo Group of Company be collect double payments for one road where government be done already pay for. For all them concern here make the chairman Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte be asked Joseph Fatoma from the Ministry of Finance for making explain what really happened.
When there was a change of government, projects were suspended. Road contract, to be specific, which of the arrears from those projects from MDAs was around 12 trillion leons. In 2018, October to be specific, our MOU was signed. But before that, the Waterloo Township Road in particular, that was signed with the government of Sierra Leone and the Gentoo Group of Company in 2015, executed this project of 2016. His first payment was made on IPC1. And during that process,
so IPC1 was paid by
RMFE. But the project was
what was
funded
meant for? Was it for mobilization or
no? The township roads were funded by RMFE at that time, 2015.
Okay.
We are funded by RMFE. Okay. So when there were challenges with funds from RMFE, the Minister of Finance took over those projects because these are key projects. We are took over from the RMFA because they are complaining of not having it of funds.
2018 that the Ministry of Finance taking over this project?
It was in 2016 the Minister of Finance took over the project.
So they assumed control of the project in 2018?
The Minister of Finance.
After the change of government?
No, in 2016, before the years.
Okay,
Minister of Finance took over.
After IPC1 has already been
paid by RMFA. Okay. The contractor for the Waterloo Township project is the Gentoo Group of Company. Continued to work after the payment of the IPC1 in 2016. Ministry of Finance didn't honor his payment.
Now you are saying after the payment of IPC1, Gentoo Group of Company continue to work even though other payments were not made. Am I correct?
The IPC1 was paid by RMFA and he continued to work as per contract.
Okay.
Because the RMFA was challenged with funds, the project was transferred from RMFA to the Ministry of Finance.
So he was pre-financing the work?
Well, you cannot say pre-financing because it was paid first IPC.
But after the committee don't do the investigation, the committee find out say na mistake from the assistant director for say the Gentoo Group of Company be collect double payments for one road where they make. For that mistake they make, the chairman, Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte, be make this ruling.
There is a penalty. The penalty is not enough. The penalty is not sufficient. I wanted the sufficient penalty so that other people will know that when you are in public space, when you are working for government or any entity, you should take correspondences very seriously, because it is what other people see. That is what they will interpret. When you are not around, the people that will review your work, it is what you leave behind. That is what they are going to review. If you leave behind the wrong information, they will have the wrong impression on you. And today, whilst I was itching to collect 5 million, I am left with a provision in the act that is only saying that I should level the penalty for failing to produce documents on demand by the auditor of 5 million, 5,000. So I am constrained to say part of the administrative action that I expect the Ministry of Finance, and we are going to write to the Accountant General, is that you fail and deprive the auditors and us, committee members. This is a very big book for leaving us. I would recommend to the Ministry of Finance that 5,000 new loans, 5 million in the old loans be deducted from your salary, paid into the Auditor General's accounts for breach of Section 36, and SLRA and the RMFA and the Ministry of Finance should, in consultation, prepare a notice sent to the audit service with regards to this issue for onward communication to the contractor, because this has created serious reputational damage to him.
After the chairman in ruling, make Honorable Aaron Ekoroma, when a member for the Public Accounts Committee, be talk say,
it kills, ends someone's business. The fact that it has been established that all of why we are here because of a mistake he made, added to whatever administrative actions the committee might consider. Possibly we can also have a written statement to be made to the contractor. It's not for now, but the books will show someday. Maybe we want to compete for another contract, whether here or somewhere else. But let that be a statement from either his office or from the Ministry of Finance to issue to him that particular comment was made out of a mistake caused by him. Let him have that document. I think that's one will be better for him, because it could be the punishment.
The Assistant Director, Joseph Fatoma, no be glad for the chairman in ruling, we make it beget this for say.
This issue now after general call me. So for good clarify. Indeed, I went there and clarify and provide this evidence. You see, it was provided to them. So it is surprised to me when they come up again at the audit report. The typo I confirm, it will defend them that the execute was a typo. Now, just missing the area that was in front of the one, because everything, the information was given to them, mancies and others, they call this student and general department will explain everything provided to them. If they allow me the second time, I forgot to say, no, in the exit, it was provided to all these families.
As the committee they carry on for look into the 2022 audit report, Rise Radio go get for the Guna updates. Reporting for Rise Radio, me and Fatmata Bangura.
Well, we say plenty thanks to Fatmata Bangura for that sober report the way from the parliament. Well, now time for me we check inside with messaging box them and give a message them we don't come inside the program. This first person they ask say, Rise Radio, I'm enjoying the program from Juba, but what I want to know, or what I want to ask the guest in the studio, don't you think that child labor impacts a child's physical, mental, and emotional development? And also, what international laws and conventions exist to protect children from child labor? This other person they ask say, how can schools and education systems help prevent and remove children from labor? Another person they ask say, Sierra Leone is a country where people challenge the laws of our land. Like you were saying in the studio, when you check at PZ at night, you will see a lot of children there, especially girl children that do normally walk around the streets. And also you will see some of them even being kiddied for prostitution, if I may put it that way. Don't you know that child labor can lead to child prostitution? It all depends on how you want to perceive my point. This one they come up from Safia to Mansare. Another message where say, how does child labor intersect with issues of migrant workers and displaced populations? Well, my final message inside the program say, What role can labor unions and worker rights organizations play in fighting child labor? Because all I've been hearing about labor union in our country is just to seek the well-being of labor workers. What about the child laborers? Because there are times you will even meet these children in some mining areas that are very much difficult to reach with vehicles. Can you elaborate in the studio? One last one, pan text message, and this one I don't get inside the studio. Make her come now to we guest for making respond to them.
Thank you very much. I will start with the last one, where the text study asks, waiting at the role of the labor union them for fair child labor, because in CC labor union and can always they advocate for workman and business, and the person also talk about if you go now some far reaching area or hard to reach area them, you go see you go meet speaking and they work now mining sites or what have you. You know what? What me go say to the text, of course, this is not something we don't underscore all this while. So these are some of the challenges we surround the fight, especially in the informal sector. If they talk about area them, we hard to reach them picking and they work definitely in informal business. It no go be formal business, it will be informal business. And those hard to reach areas that will get plans for begin crack on them unannounced. And we say go they disguise who they do and because if they see you dress one kind of way, then they suspect say, oh, this not something. But if you self dress the cow then say the dress, we go forget, the picture firsthand. The role of the Labour Congress or Labour Union, now that most of them see how they do so, they review and ratify laws. We need to do them by ourselves. Then are one of our social partners. And as a ministry, who they work, you get the government side in a Ministry of Labour, you get the workers' representative in a Sierra Leone Labour Congress, and you get employers' representative in the Sierra Leone Employers Federation. So now all they come together for work. They are all when we review, now when them come together, we call them tripartite partners. Now we three they operate always. So they always we all the way they do, then work they inside the role they would do. So then save the work. The only thing among that, you don't expect them for feds for picking because picking not to work man. Picking really not for work. So you don't expect them for faith for picking. But in terms of the legal regulatory framework and policies, then they inside the who the developer. Then this person they talk about child trafficking picking them. Trafficking there with migration. You get me? Now, before this day, you hear about this issue of temple run.
Yeah.
We don't try for sanitize them. Law not been 2 days. We don't get now the Overseas Employment and Labour Migrants or Migration Act. You get me? We in a migration for employment. We a number of safeguards and they don't put for ensure say even the big person safe do not traffic them, for go and temple run. Because people in the way because of the desperation for go abroad, sometimes they see the handwriting clear on the board. But then they still attempt. So as a government, where something go wrong back, now we don't go be a government. So inside our law, we make sure say plenty safeguard and we know they talk less of picking for the big one them. So one of the things that we've been talking about, trafficking picking for the purpose of my prostitution, for example. Migration they already because you don't traffic from one place to the other. That is migration, but it is an illegal migration. Then prostitution kind of child labor. So would the fed thing in there as well. Then you get this, of course, then talk about child prostitution, say if you're officer in the KD picking them, with the under 18 years. Well, as I don't say, maybe the need or the term don't come with some of the way people say, because as a lawyer all day, told us how they. Maybe the time don't begin you yourself go to disguise small. Who say come on and it for go fence on documents and use them. Oh yes. So yeah. So that's and they will say when you approach somebody with this, you talk with that kind of evidence. Remember this na net they happen.
Yeah.
After 10, after 11, after 12, 1, then 10 they will say for dinner use, you get your rest. But I believe saying that once in a while we go to organize some movements for also verify identity. Okay. Then time done.
Yeah, just want to tell you for making you wrap up now.
Okay.
While you still answer the question,
yeah,
you can just give you final words to people they listen to you on the importance of this day.
So this day, as I don't say, the most important thing about them and for raise their awareness because knowledge is power, information is power. One information where you get certain time and the strategic time on nature of that information where you implement them, you use them, most times it can be a turnaround for people. So now that make we the try for set this day always aside for reach out to the general public, make them know the ills of child labor and let them know say one Pekin where you educate them, able forget whether academic or technical or vocational education, with that Pekin in success, the rest of that family, that household can break the cycle of poverty or hardship. So let we take advantage of the free quality education rather than we look for solution that we go worsen the situation rather than improve them.
Okay, well, now you saw the program we Salon go lucky for today. Plenty thank you to the studio guest, Idrissa Dumbuya, we now the acting deputy director of labor and employment, now the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. We don't do it inside the studio. As today the salon they join the world for celebrate World Child Labor Day. We do it inside the studio. Don't cancel on so many things we get for do with speaking them and how we for incorporate in our society.
Wi Yone Salone program been come to you from Rise Radio 96.3 FM with support from AfriCell. Plenty thank you to all we don't send on message them and watch we live on our Facebook page and self listen to Wi Radio and on www.riseradio.sl.
Plenty thank you to we reporters them we bring the story then counter. We producer we na Masanyanga, we studio engineer we na Moina Brahma Kamara, Jones Koma and Timo Bangura, we make una see live now Facebook page. We executive producer we na Maria Maba, we will bring the program come to you this evening. My name na Davida Spaine-Solomon.
And me na Samuel Alie Kamara. Don't forget for listening to English news at exactly 8 p.m. this evening time and tomorrow morning for Rise and Shine morning show. So till tomorrow we'll come back with another edition of Wi Yone Salone program. We want to make you get a lovely net and continue for listening to Rise Radio 96.3 FM. Good evening.